everybody. Gives me immense pleasure to be over here. And first and foremost, I would like to congratulate Mr. Pankaj for bringing across this exciting program on cruise ship. And of course, I wouldn't be failing in my duty if I don't congratulate IES as well. As you can see, I'm one of the youngest student over here. And, so then I stand corrected as the second one. Second youngest, and I actually told my 17-year-old kid yesterday, look, I've got my results coming tomorrow. I think it's very important to keep learning. It's an ongoing process. You stop learning, to me, you probably start dying. Coming back to this unique course, why I call it unique is because most of us, and once I interacted in the last 1 year with all the students, when I say students, you all have been practicing professionals in your own field. You've been from marketing, you've been from sales, you've been from PE, you've been from legal, you've been architects, you've been from all over the place. In most of the industries, you're pretty busy practicing your own cult and trying to become more expert in what you call it in your own genre. Having said that, growth is all about having a 360-degree aspect of your industry. And with all those people who are actually associated. Because I strongly believe there are multiple versions of right. What a technical, what an architect feels right does not necessarily mean the finance guy agrees to it. And suddenly you go to the tax guy and the legal guy and says, guys, you're off the planet. It's a very, very interesting aspect of understanding 360 degree of the business. And this is one of those rare institutes, if I can say, which is trying to pioneer this concept of real estate. Cruise ship, pioneering this idea, being ahead of time, I think it's phenomenal. For all of us who've been a part of it and who will continue to be a part of it, we are all blessed. Trust me, you're going to be leading more in the industry and you're going to have a cutting edge among most of your peers who are day in and day out, thriving and driving their own faculty, their own cult. But in many ways, they are moving in their own silo. Keeping it short because I've got a whole lot of other colleagues coming back from me. My feedback, and it's always good to have a constructive feedback. My name is Manish Mistry. Just to give you a quick background about myself, I'm a 24 years real estate professional. I primarily am into developments. I did my undergrad as an architect, close to 2 decades with Hafiz Contractor as a senior associate. I was a partner to him. After about 2 decades, I decided to move on the business side of things. Many times I thought maybe I'm migrating on the other side of the table, and a lot of colleagues and friends asked me, are you sure? While I had my doubts, within 6 months' time, I got into the business side of things and I realized that I was actually traversing the other part of the circle. Technicals is like 180 degrees. Business is another 180 degrees, is what I learned. I joined Piramal, worked with the Piramal group for about 3.5 years as a development head for most of their residential projects, premium ones. As I speak, I have just concluded a 1-year stint with Brookfield, which again was a diverse horizon coming to the fact, given the fact that they are primarily into funds, a fund which is into asset acquisition. Clearly, from greenfield to brownfield, it was a phenomenal experience. But it was just not the architect in me which was wanting to learn every day. There is so much on the business side. Trust me, guys, it really helps you to become better at your own expertise. For those who have joined recently, I would probably just share what was my approach towards this whole program, because I was clearly proficient in some fields. I just told myself that I'm not going to start becoming proficient in all the other fields that are going to be taught, because then those guys who've been there for 2 decades have probably wasted their time, which is not fair. I think I looked at this program as more of an approach to understand as a student of how this impacts the larger business and how does it impact my area. And it was difficult. Investing your Sundays is not easy. But as time passed by, it got exciting, and in fact, I was speaking to a few friends of mine. This is something you want to keep coming back again and again. And I'll share a small example. I concluded my one-year program. I had started a little late, and technically my 1 year would have completed if I had completed another pending course of mine, which was RERA. So I gave my exams, and there was these 4 weeks of RERA which was still pending, and I got that email very promptly. I appreciate that you still got 4 weeks to go. And I said, let's go for it. I was not sure, do minds, you know how things work. And I had learned RERA in and out as a part of my business when it got launched. Trust me, those 2 Sundays that I could make out of 4 were phenomenal, because this is not about academics. This is not about learning in the books which you learn and you give your exams and you on. This is about understanding how things are functioning on ground. And when I interacted with those professors, I really realized that what was an act conceived on paper, how is it really panning out, pan-India and Maharashtra? Would this story be different a year from now? Of course, it's got to be different. And that's the beauty of this profession. That's the beauty of, blue shift, if I may put it, if I could just emphasize it. It's something you want to keep coming back again and again and again, because this is something you'll not get in the newspapers, you'll not get in the books, and that makes it phenomenal. Lastly, in the last 2.5 decades, I have seen how the real estate industry has migrated, and though we all keep saying real estate, real estate, real estate, somehow Mumbai context has always been housing. And this is just a suggestion, a feedback. Times have changed. The mindset, the way the business is conducted, it's not into lock, stock, sale anymore. The rental industry is starting to pick up. That kind of brings in a lot of commercials, retails, warehousing, which is like the new flavor of the season. I would say probably it's there for another 2 decades, I would say, and more, to be there. So when I see the full name, real estate, building, construction, housing finance, perhaps to the idea that the gentleman said in a 2 years course, I think this word housing needs to be now really be spread around. It just doesn't need to be housing alone, because the industry is evolving and changing, and there is so much that's happening today. We all read in the newspapers, which is happening purely on non-housing fronts. So that would be my feedback. And once again, thank you very much. It's been fun with all of you guys. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.